Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, we are going to be talking about the content for tomorrow. Much anticipated idols drop is what most people think, because we have a lot of idols players left to get. And it almost nearly has to be idols tomorrow. It almost has to be. And this is what we got from 2K. So, you know, if we go back to last week, what 2K dropped is they dropped a player every hour. And so that's kind of what I was expecting. That's why this video is delayed a little bit, is because I was expecting, if I can get there, where's it at? If I could get there, I was expecting something like this, where they would drop something every hour. I should have known, because it was just kind of a bigger thing, a bigger stage thing in this drop. But you guys can see New York Knicks, it says 11 through 17. Okay. All you have to do, a simple Google search here, and you'll be able to find out that Carmelo Anthony's time in New York was 2010, 2011 through 2016-17. So, I mean, that perfectly lines up. So, it's almost nearly, it's Melo. It's basically confirmed that we are going to get a Carmelo Anthony. Now, there's a lot of questions concerning Carmelo Anthony on current gen. Is he going to be able to shoot corner threes? And if he has that same release on next gen, he's probably going to be pretty solid. But the big thing is, if they do give him a better release, watch out, because Carmelo Anthony could be not game changing, but could be very, very, very solid. Now, the big thing for me is Carmelo Anthony, what positions is he going to get? Is he going to be a shooting guard, small forward, power forward? You know, you never know with 2K. He could have point guard eligibility, but I highly doubt it. If I had to guess, I would guess a small forward shooting guard for this stage that we are in. Now, you guys might be wondering, Ty, why do you think he's going to be a small forward shooting guard? And the reason is that we already have a power forward, small forward glitch Carmelo Anthony card. So I think that this one is going to have shooting guard eligibility. Now, that's just my prediction. He could be a small forward, power forward, and that's ultimately going to be fine. But looking at this Melo, guys, obviously defensively, we know Melo is going to be fine. But here's the big thing. If they give Carmelo Anthony Hall of Fame Showtime, Hall of Fame range, which I'm expecting for this next Melo, as well as not Carmelo Anthony's release, I think he's going to be incredible. If they give him Carmelo Anthony's release on current gen, you just got to know he's going to be pretty limited, because he won't be able to shoot corner threes. And, you know, if you do play him at shooting guard, it might not be that big of an issue. But at this small forward position, it's kind of a big issue. So again, a lot of people do expect us to get idols in idols drop, which, I mean, if I had to guess, that's kind of what I would assume too. So with idols usually comes a couple, or at least a few good players. Not only the main idols player, but also some players that coincide with that player. So for example, I got a list of players that I think are overdue. The first guy I'm going to talk about is Julius Erving. Now, you guys can look at all the Julius Ervings we got here. Okay, I'm just going to click on this one. This one came out October 6th. This one came out, it's a new one, March 2nd, but this one wasn't anything different than this one. Literally the exact same player. And then we got the Amethyst, December 18th. So we're more than due for a good Dr. J in 2K. And I think, I mean, not to say Julius Erving is expected or anything, but I think he wouldn't be a bad, you know, prediction for tomorrow. He's the first guy that popped to my head that he could be a good kind of, not necessarily main guy in the set, but a good person to put in that kind of idols category. The next person that kind of came to my mind, you guys might hate me, is Patrick Ewing. You can hate Patrick Ewing as much as you want in 2K. You can. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this dude in real life could ball. Patrick Ewing could definitely ball. And I mean, we've gotten 0 good Patrick Ewings. Legitimately 0 good Patrick Ewings. If they made a good Opal Patrick Ewing, had good speed, and he had a better release, there's nobody saying that I wouldn't use a Patrick Ewing if he had a better release, depending on what release they give him, you know, what SIGs and animations. But they could juice up a Patrick Ewing, and again, not a guy that I expect, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a good Patrick Ewing card in 2K. Next guy I'm going to talk about is Bill Russell. Now, we've seen 2 Bill Russells, and both of these cards have been pretty solid for their specific time. October 6th, this Bill Russell came out January 8th. That's over 3 months ago. Now, if we get a Bill Russell, guys, again, the next Bill Russell card we have, quite honestly, could be like an out of position card. But even a center power forward Bill Russell, if you run him at power forward nowadays, I think could give people problems. Again, his release is I don't want to say troublesome, but again, another guy that I would love if they did change his release. And again, another center that we've seen some of the top centers, Kareem, we've seen, D-Rob, we've seen Wilt. Bill Russell's time is coming. Now, I would say Shaq, but I expect Shaq to kind of get like the highlight of the drop, right? Melo is the highlight of this drop. I expect Shaq to get his own type of spotlight. The next guy on my list of cards that I think we could get is an Oscar Robertson. So starting back, we got one on October 23rd, and we also got another one on January 15th. Again, 3 months ago, Oscar's a card. If we got a point guard Oscar, not to say he'd be the best point guard in the game, but he's just he'd be another option for people to run. If they gave an Oscar with his release on quick, or very quick, I think that would kind of help him out, because his release, even on quick, wasn't the quickest of releases. So Big O's a card to watch out for tomorrow that we could possibly see. The next player I kind of highlighted is Dwight Howard. So around the same time Melo was in his prime, around the same time Dwight was in his prime. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say idols goes by a certain pattern, because it is pretty random, but we've seen obviously the normal Dwight Howard cards because he's still in the league. But then we've seen one on December 11th. The other one on March 5th. Now, the March 5th one and this one were basically the same. It's not like Dwight's seen a better card. So if we got it, let's say Galaxy Opal 98 overall Dwight Howard that could shoot with this release on quick, maybe he would be pretty solid. I don't know. I'm not here to say that Dwight Howard would be solid or not, but I do expect a Dwight Howard before the end of the game that is going to be pretty solid. And again, we saw, I think, a Galaxy Opal Dwight Howard last year, so there's no saying. And I think he came out pretty early on in the year. So Dwight Howard, his time is coming. The next card after Dwight Howard that kind of came to my mind is one that might be a little far-fetched, but when you think of idols, when you specifically think of idols, Dennis Rodman's an idol, man. He is. Say whatever you want about the guy, but he played with Michael Jordan. He is a big part about basketball in general. One on December 31st, we got one on September 15th, and then our most recent one was on February 5th. Again, we haven't seen a Dennis Rodman that's been really usable all year long. Like this first Dennis Rodman that came out that people locked in was absolutely terrible. This newest one, nobody really used him. Again, terrible. So if we get a Dennis Rodman, I'm not going to sit here and say he's be good, but he is an idol that we, isn't out of the question for it tomorrow. And we got a few more here to go over. The next one, we'll go through them pretty quickly, is Kevin McHale. We've only seen one Kevin McHale in 2K, and he was obviously the unlimited reward. If we got a better, I don't necessarily think we're going to get another Galaxy Opal Kevin McHale. I feel like our next one's going to be a Dark Matter, and he might be in the token market or something like that, but he could be another player. I could see him maybe as like a diamond in the set, similar to this one. Just another Kevin McHale, because it's kind of weird, because as good as Kevin McHale is, we've only seen one throughout the year. Like, as good as he was in real life, we've only seen one throughout the year, which I find very, very weird. Next guy, again, another player we've only seen one of. Now, we've always seen Bob Pettitt as like a token player, this and that, but there's no saying if Bob Pettitt was an not the main idols player, but kind of a secondary idols player, he would fit right in, guys. If we got a good Bob Pettitt, let's say, and I wouldn't put Bob Pettitt getting base 98 out of the question. A Bob Pettitt power forward, small forward, let's say, that has base 98, basically another AK type player. We've got this Bob Pettitt, but he was okay on next gen, but on current gen really wasn't much. But just saying, Bob Pettitt could really be a hooper in this game. The next card is kind of sad for me. Obviously with the death of Elgin Baylor, rest in peace, Elgin, man. One of the greatest of all time. I literally, kind of short story here that has nothing to do with the video. I went back to my grandparents for Easter. We're talking about the greatest player of all time, and he mentioned Elgin Baylor, man. Just kind of stirred some emotions in me, and I'm obviously getting kind of emotional to talk about it just because of Elgin Baylor, man, in general. I love this card, this Galaxy Opal. I mean, he was really my mans with the plan, and then obviously with the passing of Elgin. It's just super, super sad. But I mean, I don't know if 2K, if they're gonna like drop him in packs. I don't think that would necessarily be the right thing for 2K to do. But he is due for a new card. There's no doubt about it. A good Elgin Baylor. Not to say I'd run him. I'd probably run him just because he is Elgin Baylor, and he'll always, he'll always just have a special place in my heart just because of Elgin Baylor and just because of what he meant for me, especially this year, and kind of how he was for me specifically. The next card that we could see specifically with the Knicks, we're gonna talk about Amari Statement here. Now, the Peak Diamond Amari, October 30th. The Amethyst Amari, February 19th. Now again, Amari, we look at the New York Knicks, a guy that played with Carmelo Anthony, could possibly come up tomorrow. Do I expect it? Probably not as much as some of the other guys like a Patrick Ewing, but Amari Stoudemire, we could definitely see him in action tomorrow. The next guy that I have, I know I got a lot of people on my list, we're running kind of down here, is Allen Iverson. We've got 0 good Allen Iverson cards throughout the year. 0. None of these cards have been good. None of them have been good. And it's impossible for them to make a good Allen Iverson card. But, you know, eventually they're going to have to make one. He is. If you think about basketball, especially in the early 2000s, Allen Iverson has that kind of idol's name, right? And the last idol set, kind of the guys that dropped, I think with Kevin Garnett, was Larry Bird, Paul Pierce. Allen Iverson, man, hey, he played with Melo at one point, so don't kind of put him out of the picture as far as Allen Iverson is concerned. Got 3 more here. Another guy that played with Carmelo, Chauncey Billups. We've only seen one that was dropped on October 9th. Now, if they come out with a new Chauncey, he'd need a new release. But another guy that I wouldn't be surprised to see tomorrow. The last 2 are kind of just out there a little bit. Chris Bosh, I'm expecting a new Chris Bosh soon. We obviously got a good one, Galaxy Opal last year. I expect a Galaxy Opal Chris Bosh at some point in 2K. Now, that one, the most recent one was December 24th. Think about how long December 24th was ago. Nearly 5 months ago. We're due for a new Chris Bosh very, very, very soon. Last one is a card that kind of changed the game in 2K21 or in 2K20. A lot of people loved Eddy Curry. Has obviously that jump shot 38 release. Now, if they put jump shot 38 on very quick, we'll see if it was like it, or if it's as good as it was last year. Same date that Chris Bosh dropped. Another card that was pretty influential for his time last year. Now, going back to the tweet, guys, something my brother just mentioned to me is that this says 11 through 17. So could we possibly see every player that is dropped tomorrow from that era, from 2011 to 2017? Or is that just to indicate that we're getting Carmelo Anthony? I don't know. That's for you guys to speculate down below on in the comments, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, though. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys and have a blessed day.